Welcome back to Challenge Secrets. And in this training, you're going to hear an amazing framework that is in a book I'm going to reference here in a second. And this book's this awesome book on copywriting. Copywriting is a skill set of putting words together that put people into motion, into action. It is a skill set that can take a long time to develop. But I've got some keys here to help you collapse time and end up being, how would you like to write copy way better than your skill set? How would you like to write copy that is so good, you look at the page and be like, wow, I wrote that? Yes, it's possible for you to even surprise yourself and write copy well above your skill level by doing a few simple things. One is, by now, you've probably seen my training on micro niching. If you micro niche tightly, if you're willing to micro niche deeper than anybody else has, and go out and serve a very select, tiny, specific group of people, you will be surprised at how amazing copy you can write because it's so tailored just for that audience. And the second piece is, I'm going to go and do a training right now, you're going to see, that has 10 questions. I believe 10 questions that you can ask yourself when thinking about writing copy. These questions I did not invent. It came from a book. I don't remember the name of the book right now, but it's in this video. It's going to be an amazing training, and you should never, after watching this, you'll never, ever have to fear or be concerned about how to write awesome copy. Words matter. Words create worlds. And here's a key, here's a framework to help you create some powerful words when launching your challenge marketplace. This actually kind of can be followed a little bit more to this can be followed a little bit more when you're actually writing a sales letter. The Kingdom is kind of more of a framework. This kind of can actually flow a little bit more in a letter. So I liked how it was like 10 questions that you should have answered before you even start writing copy. Okay. Question 1. How is this different from everything else I've ever seen? So that kind of speaks to what? That speaks to our big idea concept. Okay. That speaks to our big idea concept. That's the whole idea of the big idea, something that's different, something that's unique. Okay. So how is this different? And then it talked about thinking about some ways. The examples he used was a trademark or a patent application. So he talked about how at one point he was launching this new stock market signaling service, and it would tell you when to go buy a stock because it was about to break out, right? So the guy who created this stock signaling process, whether it works or not is irrelevant, but he created this process, and then the guy filed a patent for it. He filed a patent application for his proprietary framework. Okay. So in this example, the guy showed, I'm holding a paper. I'm holding patent number 2248 of this brand new, stock market signaling method that allows you to know. Okay. So you see what I'm saying? So it's something that's brand new, different than anything else they've ever seen, and then using some kind of proof element. Okay. So like, how could that work? Yes, thank you, Ellen. I didn't know that. I didn't remember the name of it. It's called the 16-word sales letter, but I'm literally you can go by the book. I'm going to give you literally all of it right now in 20 minutes. I spent like 2 hours reading it. Question number 2, what's in it for me? What's in it for the reader? What's the promise? Does this ring a bell? What do I always tell you guys about your challenge? What's the big idea? What's the promise or the outcome? So, and guys, like I've been telling you guys this for what, 2 years now? And I just now got around to reading this book, and this is like the top 2 things this guy is saying. So what's the promise? And he says that you want to answer this within seconds. Well, duh. That's why in our challenge design, This is either the challenge name or the tagline. It's right on the graphic. So with the coaching we've been giving you guys around challenge design, we've hit question 1 and 2 just with the graphic alone. The name and the tagline of the challenge, if it's well thought through, already hit the box of 1 and 2. Make sense? So what's the big promise? What's the promised outcome? Get to it quickly within seconds. If it's copywriting, obviously if it's in the graphic, okay, it's already there. But I would still get to it pretty quick in the copy. Question 3, how do I know this is real? Now we want to address right away people's suspicion, people's internal BS meters. So right away, it's how do I know it? Question 3. And I think the better job, this is my own notes, I think the better job you do in question 1 and 2, here's the irony of the better job you do in 1 and 2, the more skeptical they're going to be. If you have an amazing big idea that's new, brand new, and if your big promised outcome is insane, then you are creating a high level of suspicion. Not a bad thing. It means you acted a good job. Now, hopefully you're not lying. But I quickly made that connection when I was like, oh, wait a minute. Actually, if the better job I do 1 and 2. So now how do I know it's real? Proof in a short story. Proof in a short story. And this guy talked about this little framework called ABT. ABT. And, but, therefore. We did this and this and this, but then this. So therefore, blank. So ABT, and, but, therefore. When you're showing your proof, you take an example, you take a story, and, but, therefore, was this framework he did? He said the and gives background and momentum. But creates the tension and the conflict, and therefore is how you give the conclusion of what happened. I was struggling to get my business off the ground. I tried lead magnets and webinars. I bought all the courses from all those gurus. I tried all of it, but none of it seemed to work. Therefore, I was ready to give up on ever making money online. But then I discovered challenges, right? You guys see how you can use ands, buts, therefores. Ands, but, create a story, and, but, therefore. How do I know it's real? Stories. I stuck at this. I need to be doing a much better job of telling stories much sooner. Okay. Question 4, what's holding me back? I talk about this a little bit before. Russell talks about it in Expert Secrets a little bit, calling justifying people's failures. What's holding your prospect back? Justify your prospect's failures by revealing the real problem. Right? Most of the time, the reason why the people you want to help are not succeeding is because they're actually not working on the real problem. They're trying to work on a symptom, not the cure. Right? Pedro. the six-pack you want so bad. Let me tell you why you don't have it. The real problem is not the donuts. And this is literally what this is a real conversation that my trainer and I had. He said, bro, you're gonna have a hard time getting lean right now because you have too much stress in your life. And stress, this is cortisol, and cortisol releases some other thing. And this other thing makes it hard for fat to go. Now, this did make me feel better about myself. It's like, oh, okay. Now I'm sure, and the stress leads to emotional eating. So he's not just BSing me and telling me something to make me feel okay being a loser. He's actually telling me the truth about the real problem. The real problem is a high stress life that's producing stress eating and high cortisol. And we can work out. We are working out hard. I can put you on these diets, but you're gonna have a hard time sticking to it because, right? So it's true. So how can you explain to your prospect why they're failing, why they're struggling, by helping them understand what the real problem is, what nobody else is talking about? So in our kingdom framework, that's the part of that is the N in the nagging problem. Okay, but now it's a little bit deeper. Now it's a little bit deeper. This also reveals, creates a lot of authority and expertise. You guys seeing that? Okay, that was question 4. Question 5. Who and what is to blame? Now we need a villain. We need a villain. Every story has to have a villain. Who's the bad guy? Who are we going to blame? Okay, who are we going to blame? You can blame an industry. You can blame the government. You can blame their loser friends. But you got to blame something. You can blame a spirit. If you're in the woo-woo, you can blame a spirit. You can blame a mindset, but you have to blame something. And here's a cool little nugget I picked up that was like a little, I was like, wow, that's cool. You can't make this up out of the blue. You must leverage their existing beliefs. I thought that was super powerful. You can't make this up out of the blue. You must leverage existing beliefs. So if I'm selling to a Christian audience who already believes in a devil who's out to get them, easy, just blame the devil. If I'm talking to an audience who already are conspiracy theorists, it's easy, blame the government. They already believe, they already don't trust the government, so just blame them. If I'm talking to divorced women, blame the ex-husband. He's the ass. He's gone. Like that's the first place. I mean, guys, I'm being kind of funny right now, right? But you see the point? We need to direct this blame. Now, do this ethically, do this morally. I'm not giving you permission, just to be a horrible person, but you get the concept. I talk about this either as like table flipping. I talk about this as skeletons in the closet. I talk about this different ways, but every industry has lies. Every industry has its little secrets that put it at odds with the consumer, the prospect. Here's a chance to identify who and what is to blame. Make sense? But the zinger that I took away was you can't convince them of it. It should confirm what they already believe. In the persuasion methods, it's called confirming suspicions. We all have, it's called also, we all have like a confirmation bias. So like we're already prone to easily believe things that we already believe. So we're looking for that confirmation bias. Okay. That was question 5. Question 6, why now? Speaks to urgency. Urgency. We talked about one way to create this urgency is through a framework called the either or fallacy. The either or fallacy. This is kind of a sketchy tactic, meaning you got to use it with, I would encourage you to use it with your ethics very much present. The either or fallacy allows you to put people into a corner where it's, so for example, my mom tried to do this to me during the election. Okay. My mom said, either you vote for Biden or you hate women. Because Trump hates women, he abuses women, he's vulgar, he da, 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 da. So like my mom would try to like either or. Either you do what I want you to do, or you don't respect me as your mother, you don't respect women, you don't respect your wife, you don't respect your daughter. This really happened. This really happened numerous times. Either or, pinning people into a corner. And we see this. This has basically become the news. This is the news. CNN, CNBC, all that stuff, like either this or you're a racist or a homophobe or a whatever your favorite label. And then on Fox, it's either this or you hate America. Apparently, these are the only options. Either you hate America or you're racist or you're homophobe, or like, you see what's happening, guys? Like the media is using these either ors to try and what? Get people more in momentum behind what they're pushing. So do it ethically, right? Do it ethically. What's an ethical either or? Either you can join Crush It U and learn from the over $3 million I have spent running ads to challenges, the over, 50 some odd challenges I've run personally. And you can learn from our best funnels, our best templates, our best frameworks, or I guess you could just go and do it on your own and just figure all this all out by yourself. And, you'll probably figure it out in 2 or 3, 4, 5 years, maybe. You might have to blow through $100,000+ of Facebook ads, gambling your money away. But you can figure it out on your own, maybe. So either you let us help you and leverage, let's give you what we know works, or I guess you can go try on your own. Now, that is an either or that is not, that's more real. That's not like this. To me, that feels ethical. Am I off? Is my ethical compass broken right now? It could be, because I'm still very delicate off the wisdom challenge. I don't trust any of my feelings right now. But isn't that about right? Either you get a mentor or a coach, or you go figure it out on your own. Those are really that is an either or. Okay. And this all has to do with the buy now. Why now? I made an offer on Wisdom Challenge, $95 for the recordings. And hey guys, the offer goes away on this day. So it's either $95 today or $295 tomorrow. And guess what? Go to wisdom2022.com to buy the recordings. You guys are going to see $295. People are emailing support. Oh, I want the recordings. Can I pay $95? No, you cannot. You can pay $295, and that's a bargain. But that offer was open for 7 days. I emailed you 8,000 times and texted, and like, dude, you just didn't want to do it. So you can pay $295 or see you next year. Okay, either or. Try and create either ors ethically, morally, but that this creates urgency. People need urgency. We're all procrastinators, every single one of us, about different things. Question 7, why should I trust you? Why should I trust you? And then the guy gave 3 options. 1, I've been in your shoes. So my tug of war ad was, I've been in your shoes. I told the story of how I felt this tug of war between ministry and business, and how I told that story of how, okay. So if you are your avatar, or who you used to be before you got skinny, you got rich, you got married, you got whatever you did. If you were your who before your breakthrough or transformation, then number 1 is the best. In this framework, this dude said, number 1 in this framework is the most influential. I've been in your shoes. Hey, I know where you're at. I mean, is that not true? That we just feel an immediate connection. Okay, if you can't tell that story, number 2, he says, Robin Hood. Be Robin Hood. Steal from the rich, give to the poor. Mother Teresa, somehow like create a Robin Hood story. You're the good guy. Everyone's out to get at them, but you're the nice guy. You're going to, And then the third one is, I'm the expert. And he said that literally these are in order of influence. If you want, number 1 is more than number 2, number 3. And if you can find a way to weave all 3 of these story elements in, even better. Robin Hood, steal from the rich, give to the poor. Like literally like Robin Hood, the fairy tale, like is that a Disney movie or not? I think it was even a Disney movie. Friar Tuck. Is Friar Tuck part of this? Yeah, Friar Tuck. Is there a fox? There's a fox. So yeah, it's all coming back to me now. All right, now, okay. Make sense? That's why people will trust you, because you've either been in their shoes, so like my Robin Hood story that I tell sometimes, it's true, is I'm in some crazy expensive masterminds, and I'm friends with like some insanely awesome people. So I'm like, guys, if I spend $500,000 a year in masterminds, and then I take what I learned there and I come and I just give it to you here, like, well, you guys probably couldn't afford $500,000 in mastermind, so don't worry, just I'll do it. I'm there. It's like me, and I'll bring in the best nuggets back, and I do. This is what I do. So that's something I don't talk about that enough. I should. That's a Robin Hood example, right? This helping? You guys like this? This is way better than reading the book. You can go read the book if you want. Like, this is way better. Like, I'm doing this way better than the book. Just letting you know. But the book gave me a good framework and gave me a good launch pad. Question number 8, how does it work? Now the logical brain is like, dude, give me something. We're already in. The emotional, you're in. The emotional side is already super in. Now all we gotta do is just give the logical a little smidge of logic and we're done. Sales made. Show and tell, a demo, some explanation of the core thesis of how it works. P90X, oh, here's how it works. Muscle confusion. You're going to do 6 different workouts a day. We're going to switch to the, and I think it's all BS. Like, muscle confusion is not even a real thing. Like, I think that's marketing. P90X, you know how it works? You just do 8 million freaking push-ups, pull-ups, and squats. You're going to get ripped. Guys, that's why it works. I've done P90X several times. When I really want to get in shape, like for real, I'll do P90X. That's why it works. You do 8 million push-ups, 8 million pull-ups, 8 million air squats. The variety is just to trick you. Oh, let's do yoga for a day. And it's hella hard, but it's really just to be like, yeah, just to give you a break. We're doing a crap ton more push-ups, pull-ups, and squats tomorrow. Plyo day. Oh, we're going to make you throw up today, jumping around on your legs that are gassed. Legs disguised as jumping around. Guys, it's a sales pitch. There's nothing new about this. It's old school as can be. Push-ups, pull-ups, and 8,000 variations of lunges and air squats. No wonder you get in shape. Of course you're going to get in shape. But muscle confusion was their whole thing. It worked. How does it work? How does it work? How does it work? I'm looking at my man, Perry. Perry's got some green juice he sells. Oh, here's how it works, Pedro. We get, my wife buys these peels from Omegas from New Zealand because they get this muscle. There's a special kind of muscle in New Zealand, and once a year it does something and okay. We just need an explanation. It doesn't even have to be believable. Have you guys heard that there's a book on persuasion, and it talked about that once you give someone a reason, they'll kind of believe anything. Like if you want to cut somebody in line, you're like, oh, excuse me, ma'am, do you mind if I cut you in line? Because, like I'm parked around the corner and I'm late for them. Okay. Like they prove this, you can give almost any reason. You can try and cut somebody in line at the airport, and you can say, because I had a peanut butter sandwich this morning for breakfast, and so because of that, and then can I jump in here? And like, okay, anything after because will work, even if it has nothing to do with the situation whatsoever. So it tells us that like we're just looking for some reason. And maybe there are mussels in New Zealand that menstruate every blue lunar moon, and I don't know, maybe. But my wife orders these pills that come to my house once a month, and there's these special kind of mussels, and for some reason they're only in New Zealand. I'm like, babe, how can there be so many of these mussels in New Zealand? Ain't that big a place. These guys are running TV commercials now. How could there be? Doesn't matter. How does it work? Question number 9. How do I get started? How can I get started? So this is the offer. Simple. Now we're back to hot offer. hot offer, hot offer, hot offer. Trying to get started. Make them a no-brainer, hot offer, easy to sell, easy peasy. At this point now they're in. Just don't mess it up. And then question 10. Oh, question 10 is the takeaway. Take it away from them. What do they have to lose if they don't do it? The takeaway. Pull it back. What's at stake if they don't do this? What's at stake? What's the cost of inaction, Yinka? Yes, correct. So that's it. Those are 10 questions that all fit really into our, I'm sure you've seen parallels and overlap between our challenge design framework and then even my little Kingdom copywriting framework. I liked how it was structured as just 10 questions. That was kind of a nice little easier framework. So I like it. I was like, okay. I liked it. Thought that was a good little exercise. Kind of brought together offer, kind of brought together the big idea. It brings together the challenge design elements, and it should give you enough. Your answers to those 10 questions, plus your challenge design worksheet and your who, like there should be plenty of ammunition to now get the juices flowing to put a little sales letter together. All right, Scott, your question.
All right, my question is with question number 4, what's holding me back? You said justifying your prospects' failures by revealing the real problem. Most people are working on a symptom, not the real cure. So can you speak to that? Because I think one of the challenges.
There's a real problem. Here's an example.
Yeah.
Webinars, until challenges came along, until I made challenges like mainstream, what were you guys all told to go do? Webinars or lead magnets? I mean, that's the hardest thing in the world to get to convert is a webinar. And a lead magnet, you got to have, you guys, the level of skills that you need as a copywriter, to deliver a presentation, design offers, to make a pitch. That's a level 10 skill set. And here you come, bright-eyed, bushy tail, full of excitement with your level 0 skill set. Level 0 skill set being sold a level 10 strategy. No wonder why 99% of the people fail. So when I'm like, guys, here's why you suck at online marketing. It's not your fault. You're trying to do something that's too hard. It's not just too hard for you. It's even too hard for me. I don't even have a webinar yet. I do over 8 figures a year, and I still think I suck at webinars. So you're failing for the same reason why if I go to my gym and try and squat 400 pounds, I'm going to fail too. It's too much weight too soon. I'm not ready. So let me give you a framework that you don't have to be a marketing expert to succeed at. Do you care about people? Do you have a real solution? Are you willing to show up and serve people and be honest? Okay, let's go. So that's how I do it with this world. And how I do it in Hunter X is even easier. You got people who are believers who have been told most of their life that money is evil. They've been told to be suspicious of people who are successful. And they wonder why they can't succeed. Well, here's why you can't succeed. and then they've gone to the world to get trained, and they've been given sketchy frameworks, told to lie, cheat, manipulate, and do these things that are outside their moral compass. So they don't do them. So that's why you haven't succeeded as a faith-based entrepreneur. You've been told to be suspicious that money is inherently evil, and two, the models that you've seen did not line up with your biblical worldview. Let's solve those two problems and see what's possible. Okay. So, I mean, that one, Scott, should be really easy. If you can't answer number 4 really easy with some passion, problem. That's a red flag.